She's older, I'm younger, and today I made it official. I know what most people are thinking, that it won't work, that it's strange, that there must be something wrong with me for choosing someone who doesn't match what the world expects. But today, I ignored all that. Today, I made it official. Not because I wanted to prove something, not because I wanted to be bold or rebellious, but because I've never felt this sure of anyone in my life. Yes, she's older. Yes, the gap shows sometimes. In the way she handles stress with more calm. In the way she thinks ahead when I'm still learning to be present. In the way she's been through things that I'm only beginning to understand. But that's exactly why I chose her. Because she's walked through fire and didn't lose her softness. Because she listens before she reacts. Because she's not just mature in age, she's mature in love. She doesn't play games. She doesn't pretend. She doesn't keep score. She just loves, fully, quietly, deeply. And I've never had that before. People ask me why I didn't find someone my age. And I always answer with the same truth. It's not about age. It's about energy. It's about peace. It's about how someone makes you feel when everything else feels unsure. And she makes me feel seen. Not for what I pretend to be. Not for what I try to act like in front of others. But for who I actually am. Even the parts I still don't understand. So yeah, today I made it official. Not with a big announcement. Not with a post to gather attention. But with a look in her eyes. And a promise from my heart. I told her, this is it. You're the one. And when I said it, something shifted. Like the world got quiet. And for once, everything made sense. You know, the funny thing is, I used to care a lot about what people thought. I used to overthink everything. What friends would say, how strangers might look at us, if her age would become a running joke behind our backs. And maybe for a while, I let that fear keep me small. But love doesn't care about numbers. It doesn't care about who's been here longer. It only cares about who's really here now. And she's been here. She's been here when I didn't know how to communicate properly. When I let my ego speak louder than my love. When I needed patience more than passion. She didn't give up on me. She taught me things I never learned from people my age. Not with lectures, but with presence. Not with control, but with consistency. And slowly she became the one I turned to for everything. Not just the big stuff, but the small, quiet pieces of life. She'd text me when she knew I was overthinking. She'd sit with me in silence when I didn't know what I needed. She never tried to change me, just helped me grow. And that's what made me sure. Because I've been around people who said all the right things but couldn't stand still when things got hard. But she didn't flinch, even when I made mistakes, even when I didn't show up as the man she deserved. She held space for me, and that kind of love, that's rare. So today when I made it official, it wasn't about making her mine, it was about making myself hers. Fully, no doubts, no halfway commitment, just all in. I looked at her and I saw a woman who's already lived 1,000 lives in one, but still makes room for one more story. And now that it's official, now that I've said, yes, it's you. It's always been you. I feel like I've stepped into something I've never had before. A love that doesn't just feel good, it feels real. There was a moment earlier, just a simple one, where she smiled at me and I realized something I hadn't put into words yet. She doesn't just love me, she respects me. And that hits different when you're the younger one in the relationship. Because most people expect the older one to lead, to teach, to guide. But she never made me feel like I was behind. She never treated me like some project to fix or a boy to raise into a man. She saw the man in me even before I did. That respect. That's what gave me the courage to step up and make it real today. She didn't pressure me. She didn't drop hints. She didn't try to make me prove anything. She just showed up every day with the same energy. I'm here, I choose you. And that quiet loyalty, that grown kind of love, it changed the way I saw everything. I used to think love had to be loud, dramatic, full of ups and downs, and jealous fights, because that's what I saw growing up. That's what people around me called passion. But she taught me the difference. Real love isn't loud. It's steady. It's not about who wins the argument. It's about who stays through it. She didn't just give me love. She gave me a place to be myself, without apology. And now, I look at the version of me standing here today, and I don't even fully recognize the boy I was before her. Not because I lost who I was, but because she helped me become who I was meant to be. So yeah, I'm younger, but I'm not naive. I know what I'm doing. I know who I'm choosing. And I know what it means to love someone who's already been through things I haven't even faced yet. I admire that. I learn from that. And I don't run from that. I run toward it. Because love isn't about matching timelines. It's about matching truths. And my truth is this: she is my person. I won't lie to you, making it official came with noise. Some people smiled at us today, but I could still feel the side glances, the unspoken questions behind their eyes. Why her? Why someone with more years, more stories, more everything? And even though they didn't say it out loud, I heard it. But what they don't know, what they'll probably never understand, is that time doesn't measure connection. Years don't determine depth. And love doesn't show up looking how you expect it to. It just shows up. And when it does, you either open the door or you spend the rest of your life regretting that you didn't. I opened the door even when people warned me she might outgrow me. Even when some said I'd feel behind next to her success, her wisdom, her peace. Even when a few laughed like they were waiting for it to fall apart. I didn't care because I wasn't choosing comfort. I was choosing truth. And here's the truth. She's the one who made me feel calm in chaos. She's the one who didn't flinch when I showed my cracks. She's the one who didn't treat me like I had to earn her love. She gave it freely, but with boundaries, with grace, with strength. That kind of woman. You don't let her walk away just because society says you're supposed to find someone closer to your age. No, you hold on, you grow up, you step up, and I did. I made it official, not just in words, but in action. Not just in public, but in private. I looked her in the eye and promised her this: I may be younger, but I am not weaker. And I'll carry this love with everything I've got. Because it's not about who's older, it's about who's ready. And I'm ready, not for the fantasy, not for the image, but for the real stuff, the hard stuff, the forever stuff. Tonight, after everything calmed down, I just sat there. No music, no noise, no distractions. Just me, thinking about what it really means to say, I choose you. And mean it, not just today, but every day after. Because now that it's official, now that she knows, this isn't just a phase. This isn't just a cute little story that fades out. The weight of it feels real, not heavy like a burden, but heavy like something precious. She's not someone I picked lightly. She's not someone I woke up one day and thought, why not give it a try? No, I chose her after watching how she carried herself through seasons I hadn't even lived yet. I watched her listen more than she spoke. I watched her give more than she took. I watched her love without needing the spotlight. And I asked myself, if she's strong enough to love like that, am I strong enough to protect it? That's what today was about. Not about making a statement, not about quieting the opinions around us, but about looking her in the eye and saying, I see the life you've already lived, and I still want to write the next chapters with you. And yeah, I know there are things I can't offer her yet. Experiences I haven't had, lessons I'm still learning. But I do have something she can count on. A heart that doesn't fold when it's tested. A mind that stays curious. A soul that refuses to run when love asks for effort. Because that's what she deserves. Not someone who matches her age, but someone who matches her depth. She doesn't need me to be perfect. She needs me to be present. And I am. I'm here for the days when she doubts herself. Even though she's the strongest woman I know, I'm here for the nights when she needs silence, more than conversation. I'm here for the quiet reminders, like grabbing her hand when no one's looking. Just to say, I see you, because that's what this kind of love needs. Not noise, not approval, just two people who aren't afraid to fight for something real, even if it looks different to everyone else. So tonight I whispered something to myself, not for her to hear, not for the world to post, just for me. I said, you didn't settle down early. You just found the kind of love that made everything else feel small. And honestly, that's the kind of love I'll spend my life protecting. There's something I've learned in silence, something I wouldn't have understood if I hadn't met her. Love isn't loud. It's not in the fireworks or the surprise posts or the celebrations people expect. Love is in the small decisions, the unseen moments, the quiet choices that no one claps for, like showing up on the hard days, like being honest even when it might hurt, like holding someone when they don't even know what they need. And that's what she gave me, a deeper understanding of love. Not a fairy tale, not a fantasy, but a place where we could be fully human, flawed, honest, still chosen. So when I say I made it official today, what I mean is, I decided I'm done hiding how much she means to me. I'm done letting people speak about us, like we're odd or temporary. I'm done watering myself down just to fit someone else's idea of what makes sense. Because what we have doesn't need to make sense. It just needs to be true. And it is. So true, it makes my chest feel like it's carrying more than one heart. I look at her and I don't see someone older than me. I see someone who taught me how to love. Right. I see someone who could have waited for someone more established, more on her level in age and maybe even lifestyle. But instead, she chose me. Not because I was finished growing, but because she saw something real in the middle of my becoming. And that's what love should be, right? Not choosing the most polished person, but the person who's still learning, still trying, still showing up. And now, every time I hear people whisper, why her? Why now? Why would he do that? I have my answer. Because I'd rather spend my life with someone who understands love at its deepest level than waste my time with people who only know love on the surface. So yeah, today I made it official. And tomorrow, I'm waking up with no regrets. Because when I look at her, I see peace. I see purpose. I see the future I never knew I needed. Wrapped up in someone the world didn't expect me to love, but I did. And I still do.